The Young and the Restless spoilers Monday, January 12th. Enemy face-off, double-crossing, special surprises. The Young and the Restless spoilers are in for Monday, January 12th, 2026. In the next episode, fans can expect one woman to face off with an enemy. There is a double-crossing. Plus, one Genoa City resident has a surprise. Keep reading, and let's talk about what is coming up in the CBS soap opera. Jack Abbott's priceless deal. Let's start off with Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman. Kyle Abbott, Michael Mueller, had the entire Newman family followed. That led to the team capturing Matt Clark, Roger Howarth, after Nick Newman's, Joshua Morrow, car crash. Then, Jack and Kyle brought Matt to the ranch. It was proof that they really do have Matt. The Abbott family was hoping to make a deal with Victor Newman, Eric Braeden. Victor Newman's betrayal. Thanks to Nikki Newman, Melody Thomas Scott, interrupting the meeting. Victor likely makes the deal with Jack. However, don't expect Victor to honor his part of the deal. All Jack wants is for Victor to leave them alone and their company. While Victor will make this promise, he will later break it. Nikki was close to leaving him recently but went back. This could be too much for Nikki to take all over again, though. Nikki Newman's enemy confrontation. The Young and the Restless spoilers for the next episode reveal that Nikki will confront an enemy. With Matt in the house, Nikki will have a few choice words for the villain. However, they need to decide what to do with Matt now. If Jack leaves Matt with Victor, how is he going to keep the man under control? Put him in a homemade prison like Victor did with Jordan, Colleen Zank? What else to expect? As for what else to expect, Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn, has a bit of a surprise for Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford. In a preview clip for next week, Kane stands silently as Phyllis gloats to Victor about having control of Newman Enterprises. Holden Novak's dilemma. There also might be some more scenes featuring Holden Novak, Nathan Owens. While the man is getting closer to Claire Grace Newman, Haley Aaron, Audra Charles Zuleika Silver is making the blonde suspicious again. Claire just doesn't believe that Audra truly wants to coexist civilly. Will Claire continue to dig and find out what Audra and Holden's big secret is? Today's shocking news on The Young and the Restless. Enemy face-off, double-crossing, and special surprises rock Genoa City. If you thought Genoa City had finally caught its breath, think again. The Young and the Restless is unleashing a tidal wave of jaw-dropping confrontations, ruthless betrayals, and unexpected surprises that threaten to upend everything fans thought they knew. Old grudges are exploding into all-out war. Trusted allies are revealing hidden agendas, and secrets buried for years are clawing their way to the surface. Buckle up, because today's shocking developments prove that no one is safe and nothing is sacred. Enemy face-off. When history comes back with a vengeance. Genoa City has always been a battleground, but today's enemy face-offs hit harder than ever. Long-simmering tensions are erupting into explosive showdowns that promise lasting consequences. Victor Newman versus Jack Abbott. The war reignites. Just when fans believed Victor Newman and Jack Abbott had reached an uneasy truce, the gloves come off again. A mysterious business maneuver sparks suspicion, and suddenly decades of rivalry resurface with ferocity. Insiders whisper that Victor believes Jack is playing a deeper, more dangerous game than ever before, while Jack suspects Victor is setting a trap designed to destroy Abbott's legacy from the inside out. Their confrontation isn't just about power, it's personal. Old wounds reopen. Past betrayals are thrown like weapons. And as tempers flare, it becomes clear that this face-off could trigger collateral damage no one anticipates. Nikki Newman faces an enemy she never expected. Nikki's world is shaken when an adversary from her past resurfaces, armed with knowledge that could unravel her carefully rebuilt life. This isn't just another feud, it's an emotional reckoning. The tension between them crackles with unresolved history, regret, and fury. Fans will be stunned as Nikki refuses to back down, even when the stakes threaten her marriage, her reputation, and her future. One thing is certain. This confrontation will leave scars. Personal vendettas turn deadly serious. Beyond the tight ends of Genoa City, personal enemies are colliding everywhere. Friends become foes. Lovers turn ruthless. A single argument escalates into a confrontation that could permanently change multiple lives. And the most chilling part? Some of these enemies know exactly where to strike. Double-crossing. Trust is a luxury no one can afford. If today proves anything, it's that loyalty in Genoa City is more fragile than ever. The art of the double-cross is alive and thriving, and the fallout is devastating. A trusted ally plays both sides. One character fans have long considered reliable is exposed as a master manipulator, secretly feeding information to rival factions. Their betrayal doesn't just affect one storyline. It sends shockwaves through multiple families and businesses. The reveal is subtle at first. A look held too long, a secret meeting overheard, a deal that doesn't quite add up. Then the truth explodes. When the mask finally slips, the betrayal feels personal, not just to the characters, but to viewers who believed in them. Romantic deception at its most dangerous. Love in Genoa City has always been complicated, but today's double-cross takes romance into treacherous territory. One partner hides a devastating truth while playing the devoted lover, manipulating emotions to achieve a hidden agenda. When the truth comes out, and it will, it won't just break hearts. It could destroy careers, families, and futures. The line between love and strategy has never been blurrier. Corporate espionage hits a new level. Behind closed boardroom doors, secret alliances are shifting. Confidential files vanish. A carefully planned takeover is sabotaged from within. Someone is leaking information, and the real shock is who. This isn't just business as usual. This is betrayal with teeth. And when the dust settles, the power structure of Genoa City may look very different. Special surprises. Twists no one saw coming. Just when the tension becomes unbearable, the young and the restless throws and surprises that flip the script entirely. A shocking return changes everything. A familiar face makes an unexpected return, sending shockwaves through Genoa City. Their arrival instantly alters multiple storylines, reopening old wounds and reigniting unresolved conflicts. Some are thrilled. Others are terrified. This return isn't random. It's strategic. And the timing couldn't be more explosive. A secret revealed at the worst possible moment. In classic YNR fashion, a long-buried secret comes out in the most dramatic way imaginable, during a confrontation where emotions are already running dangerously high. The revelation silences the room, shifts alliances, and forces characters to rethink everything they believed. This secret has ripple effects that extend far beyond the initial shock, setting the stage for weeks, if not months, of fallout. An unexpected act of kindness. Amid the chaos, one surprise stands out for a different reason: compassion. A character known for their toughness makes a heartfelt, selfless move that no one saw coming. It's a reminder that even in Genoa City's darkest moments, humanity still exists. But make no mistake, this act of kindness may come with consequences of its own. The emotional fallout, no one escapes unchanged. What makes today's developments truly shocking isn't just the twists. It's the emotional wreckage left behind. Families are fractured as secrets come to light. Relationships are tested beyond their breaking point. Characters are forced to choose between survival and integrity. Some will rise stronger, others will fall hard, and a few may cross lines they can never uncross. What this means for the future of Genoa City. Today's enemy face-offs, double-crossings, and special surprises are more than just momentary shocks. They're catalysts for a major shift in the young and the restless landscape. Rivalries are evolving into full-scale wars. Alliances are forming in unexpected places. Power players may soon find themselves powerless. Fans should brace for escalating drama, emotional reckonings, and storylines that dig deep into the characters' pasts while shaping a volatile future. Final thoughts. Buckle up, YNR fans. If today's shocking news proves anything, it's that the young and the restless is firing on all cylinders. The enemy face-offs are raw and intense. The double crossings are ruthless and unforgettable. And the special surprises? They're the kind that keep fans talking long after the credits roll. Today's shocking news of the young and the restless. Jack Abbott's priceless deal that changes everything. In a twist no one in Genoa City saw coming, The Young and the Restless has just unleashed one of its most jaw-dropping developments yet. Jack Abbott has made a priceless deal that could permanently alter the balance of power between the Abbott and Newman dynasties. This isn't just another business maneuver or corporate chess move. This is personal, emotional, and potentially devastating for everyone caught in its path. Fans are still reeling as the shocking details come into focus, because what Jack agreed to give up and what he stands to gain may be worth far more than money, power, or prestige. Jack Abbott, a man backed into a corner. For months, Jack Abbott has been fighting battles on multiple fronts. Publicly, he's been locked in an escalating war with Victor Newman, a rivalry that has defined YNR for decades. Privately, Jack has been struggling with fractured family relationships, lingering guilt over past mistakes, and a growing realization that brute force tactics may no longer be enough to win. Jack isn't the reckless businessman he once was. He's older, wiser, and far more aware of what he stands to lose. That's what makes this new deal so shocking. Rather than launching another hostile takeover or counterattack, Jack chose a completely different strategy, one that required him to sacrifice something deeply personal in exchange for a future he believes will protect his family and his legacy. The deal that no one saw coming. According to explosive developments on The Young and the Restless, Jack has entered into a secretive agreement that insiders are already calling priceless, not because of its financial value, but because of its emotional cost. This wasn't a deal struck in a boardroom filled with lawyers and shareholders. It was forged in private conversations, hushed confrontations, and moments charged with raw honesty. Jack's goal? To neutralize a looming threat that could destroy Jabot, fracture the Abbott family, and hand Victor Newman a permanent victory. But the price of that protection is staggering. What Jack had to give up? While the exact terms of the agreement are still unfolding, one thing is painfully clear. Jack didn't trade money. He traded leverage, trust, and control. Sources close to the situation reveal that Jack willingly gave up critical strategic information, relinquished future authority over a key business decision, agreed to step aside in a way he never has before. For a man who has spent his entire life fighting to prove himself, first to John Abbott's memory, then against Victor Newman, this is nothing short of seismic. Jack essentially chose to lose a battle so his family wouldn't lose the war, and that decision may haunt him. Victor Newman's shadow looms large. Of course, no shocking deal in Genoa City happens without Victor Newman lurking in the background. Victor has long believed that Jack Abbott would eventually crack, and this move may look on the surface like proof that the great Victor Newman was right all along. But here's where the twist gets delicious. Jack's deal may actually be a long con. By appearing to surrender ground, Jack could be positioning Victor exactly where he wants him, confident, distracted, and dangerously convinced that he's already won. If history has taught fans anything, it's this. Jack Abbott never sacrifices without a reason, and Victor may soon discover that priceless doesn't mean weak. The Abbott family reacts, and it's explosive. When word of Jack's deal begins to spread, the fallout inside the Abbott family is immediate and intense. Ashley Abbott, furious and betrayed. Ashley is blindsided. To her, Jack's decision feels like a betrayal not just of the company, but of their father's legacy. She questions whether Jack had the right to make such a monumental choice alone, and whether his emotions clouded his judgment. Ashley's anger isn't subtle. It's sharp, cutting, and laced with years of unresolved resentment, and she may not be done fighting. Billy Abbott, shocked but quietly impressed. Billy's reaction is far more complicated. While he's stunned by Jack's willingness to give something up, he also recognizes the brilliance behind it. For once, Billy sees Jack not as the overbearing older brother, but as a strategist willing to play the long game. That said, Billy also fears that Jack may have underestimated the emotional cost, and that regret could come roaring back when it's too late. Diane Jenkins, the wild card. Perhaps the most intriguing reaction comes from Diane Jenkins. Diane understands sacrifice. She understands reinvention. And she understands exactly how dangerous Victor Newman can be. Rather than condemning Jack, Diane stands by him, but not blindly. She warns Jack that deals like this have a way of spiraling out of control, especially when secrets are involved. Her support is real, but it's cautious, and she may already be planning her own contingency move. If Jack stumbles, Diane won't let him fall alone, but she won't go down with him either. The emotional weight of the deal. What makes this storyline resonate so deeply is that Jack's decision isn't rooted in greed or ego, it's rooted in fear. Fear of losing his family. Fear of repeating past mistakes. Fear that his legacy will be remembered as one long war he couldn't win. Jack's deal represents a man choosing peace over pride, even if that peace is temporary. And in Genoa City, peace never lasts. Who stands to lose the most? While Jack's move may stabilize things in the short term, it opens the door for dangerous consequences. Victor Newman may strike harder once he senses vulnerability. Ashley could launch her own counter-move, splitting the family. Billy might be forced to choose sides sooner than expected. Jabot itself could become collateral damage. And worst of all, Jack could realize too late that the person he trusted most in this deal never intended to honor it. A legacy on the line. At its core, this storyline isn't about business. It's about legacy. Jack Abbott has spent decades trying to live up to John Abbott's ideals while surviving in a world dominated by Victor Newman's ruthless philosophy. This deal represents Jack's attempt to redefine what strength looks like, not domination, but protection. The question is whether Genoa City will allow him that choice. Because in The Young and the Restless, every sacrifice invites retaliation. What happens next? As the fallout from Jack Abbott's priceless deal continues to ripple through Genoa City, fans should brace themselves for shocking betrayals, long-buried secrets coming to light, a renewed Abbott versus Newman war with higher stakes than ever, and a devastating moment when Jack must face the true cost of his decision. Today's shocking news on The Young and the Restless. Victor Newman's ultimate betrayal rocks Genoa City. If there's one truth that The Young and the Restless fans have learned over decades, it's this. Never underestimate Victor Newman. The mustache, the money, the mind games. Victor has built an empire not just on business acumen, but on calculated loyalty and ruthless betrayal. But today's shocking developments take things to an entirely new level. What's unfolding in Genoa City isn't just another power play. It's a deeply personal betrayal that could permanently fracture the Newman family and rewrite alliances across town. Brace yourself, because Victor Newman's latest move may be the most devastating one yet. Victor Newman, the king who never stops playing chess. Victor has always operated 5 steps ahead. Whether he's targeting Jack Abbott, manipulating corporate boards, or protecting his family in ways that ultimately harm them, Victor believes one thing above all else. The end always justifies the means. But what makes today's news so shocking is not that Victor betrayed someone. It's who he betrayed and why. This time, Victor's actions aren't aimed at an old enemy. They're aimed directly at someone who trusted him completely. And the fallout? It's explosive. The setup, a promise that was never meant to be kept. Sources inside Genoa City whisper that Victor recently made a private promise, one that reassured a loved one and lulled them into a false sense of security. Whether it was about a business partnership, a family secret, or a future plan, Victor presented himself as an ally. He looked them in the eye. He gave his word, and then he broke it. What makes this betrayal sting so deeply is that Victor knew exactly what he was doing. This wasn't an impulsive decision or a reaction to pressure. This was a long con, carefully plotted move designed to secure his dominance at any cost. The shocking truth? Victor never intended to honor that promise. It was merely a tool, one he discarded the moment it stopped being useful. Nikki Newman, a wife left questioning everything. Let's talk about Nikki. For years, Nikki Newman has been Victor's moral compass, when such a thing exists in his world. She has defended him, forgiven him, and stood by him even when his actions crossed unforgivable lines. But this betrayal may finally push Nikki to her breaking point. Insiders suggest Nikki is beginning to realize that Victor didn't just lie to an enemy, he lied to family. And for Nikki, that's a line she may not be able to overlook. The pain isn't just about the betrayal itself. It's about the realization that Victor is still willing to sacrifice emotional bonds for power. Nikki is left asking a haunting question. Has Victor ever truly changed? And if Nikki turns away from Victor this time, it could mark the most dangerous shift in their marriage yet. Victoria Newman, used, undermined, and furious. If there's one Newman who knows what it feels like to be betrayed by Victor, it's Victoria. She's been groomed, dismissed, elevated, and crushed, all by her own father. Today's shocking development suggests that Victor may have undermined Victoria behind her back, possibly jeopardizing her leadership, her credibility, or her long-term future. Whether this betrayal involves Newman Enterprises or a shadow deal Victor made without her knowledge, one thing is certain. Victoria won't stay silent. Victoria has spent years fighting to prove she's more than Victor's pawn. And if this betrayal confirms her worst fears, that her father still sees her as expendable, then Victor may have just created his most formidable enemy yet. A betrayed Victoria is not someone Victor should underestimate. Nick Newman, the moral line Victor crossed. Nick Newman has always been the Newman most willing to walk away from Victor's toxic influence. He values honesty, independence, and emotional integrity. Everything Victor tends to trample in his quest for control. Today's betrayal appears to validate every fear Nick has ever had about his father. What's truly shocking is the possibility that Victor knowingly put Nick in harm's way, emotionally, professionally, or even legally, just to protect his own interests. If Nick discovers the full scope of Victor's deception, this may be the final straw. Nick doesn't just get angry, he cuts ties. And if Nick turns his back on Victor for good, the Newman patriarch may finally face something he can't buy or manipulate, irreversible loss. Adam Newman, the wild card who sees the truth. Then there's Adam, often dismissed as volatile, reckless, or untrustworthy. Adam may ironically be the one who sees Victor's betrayal most clearly. Adam has long understood that Victor's love is conditional, and today's events only reinforce that belief. The shocking twist? Adam may have known this betrayal was coming. Whether he tried to warn others or quietly positioned himself to benefit from the fallout, Adam stands at a crossroads. Will he exploit Victor's betrayal to gain power? Or will he finally expose his father's manipulation to the entire family? Either way, Adam's involvement guarantees chaos. Jack Abbott, the enemy who might finally be right. And let's not forget Jack Abbott. Victor's long-standing rival has accused him for years of being incapable of loyalty. If Victor's betrayal spills into Abbott territory, whether through corporate sabotage or personal manipulation, Jack may finally hold proof that Victor is as dangerous as he's always claimed. What's shocking is the possibility that Jack and a Newman could find themselves on the same side for once, united by Victor's treachery. That kind of alliance would shake Genoa City to its core. Victor thrives when everyone is divided. If his betrayal unites his enemies, he may have miscalculated for the first time. The emotional fallout, trust shattered across Genoa City. This betrayal doesn't exist in a vacuum. Its ripple effects are already spreading. Trust within the Newman family is crumbling. Business alliances are quietly unraveling. Old grudges are resurfacing with new intensity. Secrets Victor thought were buried may soon come to light. The most shocking part? Victor doesn't appear remorseful. To him, betrayal isn't cruelty, it's strategy. But strategy has consequences. Is this Victor Newman's biggest mistake? Victor Newman has survived kidnappings, prison, terminal diagnoses, and countless enemies. But what he's facing now is different. This betrayal threatens the one thing Victor values almost as much as power, his legacy. If his children turn against him, if Nikki walks away, if his empire begins to crumble from the inside, then Victor may finally have to face the truth. You can't rule forever by fear alone. And in a twist that would shock even longtime fans, Victor may soon find himself isolated, surrounded by people who know exactly what he's capable of and are no longer willing to forgive it. What happens next? As The Young and the Restless barrels toward its next explosive chapter, one thing is certain. Victor Newman's betrayal is far from over. Revelations are coming. Confrontations are inevitable. And the Newman family will never be the same again. Will Victor double down and crush anyone who defies him? Or will this betrayal finally cost him everything he spent a lifetime building? Today's shocking news: Nikki Newman's explosive enemy confrontation rocks Genoa City. In what could easily go down as one of the most intense confrontations in The Young and the Restless history, Nikki Newman, the iconic matriarch of the Newman family, finds herself locked in a fierce battle that threatens to shake Genoa City to its very core. Today's shocking events have left fans gasping, reeling, and speculating about what's next for one of daytime television's most enduring characters. Nikki, who has always balanced resilience with vulnerability, courage with compassion, and loyalty with a fiery streak, faced off against a longtime enemy in an encounter that has already set social media ablaze. The confrontation, which unfolded at the Newman mansion, was fueled by long-standing grudges, recent betrayals, and the high stakes of business, love, and family. The prelude to confrontation. The tension had been simmering for weeks. Nikki, who recently took on a more hands-on role in Newman Enterprises, discovered that certain critical decisions within the company were being sabotaged by an unknown party. Internal documents had been altered. Key deals were on the brink of collapse, and a mysterious leak threatened to expose some of the Newmans' most closely guarded secrets. While Nikki initially suspected corporate rivals and even some of the younger Newman family members, the truth hit closer to home. Her enemy, who had long been plotting behind the scenes, finally stepped into the light, and the moment of confrontation was inevitable. Fans of the show have been buzzing over cryptic interactions between Nikki and her adversary over the past week, and today's explosive showdown has proven that the tension was about more than corporate maneuvering. It was deeply personal. The confrontation unfolds. The scene opened with Nikki arriving at the Newman mansion late in the afternoon, her face a mixture of determination and barely contained fury. She had called her enemy, insisting on a private meeting to settle matters once and for all. The air was electric with anticipation. Security cameras captured every moment as Nikki's enemy arrived, composed, calm, and seemingly unfazed by the brewing storm. Nikki wasted no time. Her voice, steady but laced with anger, cut through the tension immediately. "I know what you've been doing," she declared, holding a folder of evidence aloft. "And I won't let you get away with it." The enemy, who had been carefully plotting behind Nikki's back, smirked, seemingly unfazed. "Nikki," they began, their tone deceptively light, "you always think you know everything, but sometimes the truth isn't what it seems." What followed was a dramatic exchange that kept fans on the edge of their seats. Nikki's accusations were met with deflection, manipulation, and calculated charm, but her determination never wavered. She had finally realized that words alone wouldn't suffice. She needed proof. And she had it. The evidence Nikki presented was damning. Emails, altered contracts, and even recordings that revealed the enemy's deep-seated vendetta against the Newman family. Each piece of evidence was laid out meticulously, leaving no room for argument. The enemy tried to twist the narrative, but Nikki's unwavering stance made it clear. This time, she wouldn't back down. Fans react to Nikki's fierce showdown. As news of the confrontation spread, fans immediately took to social media to voice their reactions. Hashtags like Nikki vs. Enemy and Newman Showdown trended within hours, with viewers sharing clips, screenshots, and their own theories about what would happen next. One fan tweeted, "Nikki Newman is a queen, standing up to her enemy like that was everything we needed today. Yandar Nikki strong." Another wrote, "Finally, Nikki isn't letting anyone manipulate her or the Newmans. This is the Nikki we've been waiting for." Genoa City drama. The intensity of the confrontation also sparked a wave of fan theories. Some speculate that Nikki's enemy may attempt retaliation, perhaps targeting her family members or attempting another corporate scheme. Others suggest that Nikki's victory today could mark a turning point, not just in her personal battles, but in the power dynamics of Newman Enterprises as a whole. The stakes are higher than ever. What makes today's confrontation particularly shocking is the personal nature of the feud. While Nikki has always been a savvy businesswoman, her enemy's attack wasn't just professional, it was deeply personal. Friends and family are now on high alert, wondering if this confrontation will spill over into other aspects of Nikki's life. For example, her daughter, Summer Newman, and her husband, Victor Newman, have been involved in tense situations that could intersect with Nikki's current struggle. If her enemy is willing to manipulate contracts and corporate affairs, could family secrets or personal relationships also be at risk? This question looms over Genoa City like a dark cloud. Nikki's legacy, her family's reputation, and her own safety could be at stake. And with the enemy having been planning in secret for months, viewers are left wondering whether this confrontation is truly the end, or just the beginning of a much larger battle, a test of strength and resolve. Nikki Newman has always been portrayed as a survivor. She has faced heartbreak, betrayal, addiction, and near-tragic circumstances, yet she consistently rises above challenges with grace and determination. Today's confrontation is a testament to her resilience, her intelligence, and her unbreakable spirit. By standing up to her enemy, Nikki is not only protecting herself, but sending a clear message to anyone who might consider threatening the Newman family. Crossing Nikki Newman comes at a steep price. Her ability to maintain composure while presenting irrefutable evidence demonstrates her strategic mind and her readiness to fight for what's rightfully hers. Unexpected twists and turns. True to the Young and the Restless style, the confrontation wasn't without unexpected twists. At one point, Nikki's enemy revealed a shocking secret, something that even the Newman matriarch hadn't anticipated. While the details of this revelation are still being debated by fans, it added an extra layer of tension and intrigue. Some speculate that this twist could lead to an unlikely alliance, a betrayal, or even a shocking reversal that will leave viewers stunned. With Genoa City's drama constantly evolving, today's confrontation could have ripple effects that influence multiple storylines for weeks or even months to come. What this means for Genoa City. The repercussions of Nikki's enemy confrontation are far-reaching. In the short term, the showdown has already shifted power dynamics within Newman Enterprises. Nikki's assertiveness may inspire other family members to take a more active role in defending their interests, potentially challenging Victor Newman's authority. On a personal level, Nikki's confrontation could redefine her relationships with other key characters. Friends and allies may rally around her, offering support and solidarity. Conversely, old rivalries could intensify, as Nikki's bold stance makes her a more prominent target for enemies, both known and unknown.